Outcome Memories is a asymmetrical horror game. You run from a killer and you win. And you have a lot of characters to choose from. But the characters I want to talk about are Tails, which is an interesting case, and Cream, which is also an interesting case. These two characters are very interesting because, well, they're not the best, obviously. Are they bad? No, obviously not. But this is a guide on Tails and Cream and Outcome Memories. And let's first talk about Cream the Rabbit, because this is your one and only healer. Okay, so let's talk about her abilities first, because they are very important. And let's talk about the main ability, which is Heal. So Heal has a 15-second cooldown, and it will heal everyone around her by 10. Now, there is a catch to this though. It's a Chao. The Chao is named Cheese. If you fall below 30 HP on the first life, you lose Chao for the rest of the game, which will make your heals all go down from 10 to 5. And it's interesting because, yeah, that's a fat difference. Cream can also heal herself, which is pretty nice. Now, it won't heal as much as your teammates because your teammates will get healed over and over during the healing. You only get healed once, so if you lose Cheese, you're only going to heal 5 HP every time you use heal. And same goes for everyone else around her, where they only get 5 HP every tick. Now, can you do anything crazy with the heal besides healing players? You can dodge the charge to some degree. Whenever you start up a healing animation, you actually have iframes, meaning that you can't be hit or hurt during it. So whenever she's doing the floating technique ability, basically she's immune during that for a few seconds. And it's useful because you can dodge the EXE charge, which is, like I said, useful. Now, also, it doesn't last for long, so don't sit there and keep healing yourself, but use it when you can. But other than that, heal is really generic, but it's a really OP ability in this game because Cream can make a difference between you failing the run and you guys living the run. Another ability Cream has is Dash, which is oddly useful. So, Dash has a 15-second cooldown, and it basically can do a few things. First of all, it can actually push you forward. Obviously, I mean, it's a dash. Not only that, it can be used vertically to go upwards or just go horizontally. Or even juking the EXE, which is pretty useful. Mind you, it's only 15 seconds, which is pretty short. 2, it can push the EXE back. Now, this doesn't stun him, obviously, it would just knock him back. But what it does do for you is that you get a speed boost out of it. And this speed boost is actually pretty usable. Like, it's not just a little speed boost, like, it's noticeable. But you also do lose 2 HP every time you use it on, like, someone or on the EXE. Is it, like, anything crazy? No, because it's just 2 HP, but still. Basically, the dash is just used for mobility to get away from the EXE. The last ability Cream has is Glide, which is actually a passive move, and all you have to do is just be high enough to glide downwards. Basically similar to Knuckles, but instead of going to a wall, you just have to be high enough. Is it useful? Yes, because you also can combine it with your dash, which can give you a bit extra height and momentum to get away from the EXE. But other than that though, let's move on to the next section where I give you some more general tips on Cream. Okay, one tip I can give you is stay out of the EXE's, like, mind. Basically what I'm saying is just don't get caught. If you get seen by the EXE, there's a likely chance that they will target you because, first of all, you're Cream, and 2, because you're defenseless, basically. The second tip I can give you is use your glide ability to your advantage. Like, you can get to some crazy areas with just the glide ability, so use that when you can. The tip I can give for a rage is honestly just stay near your teammates. Now, I'm not saying like always stay near them, because if you can run away, run away. But I advise you to stick near a teammate that's reliable to save you in case, you know, he sees you. The fifth tip I can give you is also, if you're gonna glide, if you hit a wall, you will bounce backwards. Which you may think is a bad thing, but honestly, it's not the worst thing because the killer may not suspect you to hit a wall and bounce backwards. The biggest tip, or I guess the smallest one, is that you can hide behind walls or use your height to your advantage because your character is really small. Cream is the smallest like character in the game, so use like corners and walls to your advantage when you can. And the next character I want to talk about is Tails. And oh gosh, Tails is very interesting. But let's first talk about his abilities, because he has 2 abilities and like a few passives. Let's explain his first ability, Laser Cannon. Basically, the bar in the bottom left charges up over time. Whenever it's charged, you're allowed to shoot, or not shoot, but load the gun. Once it's loaded, then you can basically just shoot this intensely strong beam at the killer. Is it really good? Yes, it's done for like a long time, and you can push back the killer, which is really useful, obviously, and especially at Tails. But once that happens, it would drain itself again, and you have to wait for a few seconds before the gun come back. Okay, if you ever played Sonic before, like Sonic 2 or any Sonic game really, you would know that Tails can fly. And well, he can fly in this game too. I know, crazy idea, but he can fly. And his flight ability is really useful. It's basically his only way of getting away from the killer without, having to use the gun. And yeah, you can get some like insane hype from this ability alone. But yeah, other than that, let's move on to the passives, where he has 2 passives. And I'll explain them really briefly because they're really simple in concept. The first ability is called Animal Sense. You see that the killer has a white outline around him, even though it's invisible. Basically, in a very small radius around Tails, you can actually see the killer like when it's invisible, which is pretty useful. And the second ability is Metal Support. If you stand near Metal Sonic whenever he's like self-repairing, you will help him heal faster, which is basically what Eggman also does. Tip 1 I can give you is stay in the back. Now, if you get caught by the EXE, like seen by him, it's not over because you can just glide away from him. But I really advise you just to stay out of sight of the killer. And once your laser cannon ready, fire at him because you might as well. Tip 2 I can give you is that you should really just stay near your teammates like overall. Now obviously don't camp near your teammates where you're not helping, but be near a teammate that can help you in case the EXE tries to go after you, because the EXE has multiple ways to get to you when you're gliding. Okay, here's a tip not to do. If the ring opens up, okay, whenever it hits 120, okay, do not ever use the laser cannon unless you have to. Because the laser cannon is very strong with the stun, but here's a tiny issue. The rage. Because if you shoot him, it makes the rage meter go up so much. So if you shoot the killer, make sure that you're shooting him and making sure that, he already have his rage mode gone, or else you're going to be screwed when he activates rage mode and the ring was open. Speaking of rage mode, whenever the killer activates rage mode, make sure to get out of there fast. Whenever the killer's in rage mode, he can't use God's trickery, so that's a good thing. But I advise you to really just run away as far as you can during rage and have your cannon ready. Now it won't stun as long because he's in rage mode. So if you shoot the killer, shoot him when it's necessary or if he's like really far away from you. But if he's chasing you during rage mode, you're kind of screwed, I guess, unless you glide away. Like it maps like not perfect. The last tip I can give you honestly is just if you get hit while you're loading the gun up and like holding it to shoot, if you get hit during that, you actually move faster whenever you get hit because of the way the game works. If you get hit, you move faster because you're trying to get away from the killer. If you have the gun loaded and you get hit, you actually move a lot faster, so you can use that to your advantage. Don't get hit on purpose obviously, but if you get hit, then use that to your advantage because you can move faster while you have the gun loaded. Outcome Memories has very good characters. Tails and Cream are still good characters, don't get me wrong. They're very good in the right hands. But this is just more of a general guide to help people out to play them better instead of messing up over and over. But if this video does well enough, like 30 likes, then I'll maybe do more characters in this game, if y'all also want me to do more. But other than that, I am out, and play smart.